Hello, welcome to the teaching overview for Vergil's Aeneid, selected readings from books 1, 2, 4, and 6 by Barbara Weidenboyd. This text covers all of the lines from the Vergil portion of the AP syllabus. The preface and introductory notes contain brief descriptions on key points of methodology for the text. For example, in the short paragraph labeled Orthography, the author explains how she chose to print consonantal U as a V, but retained the consonantal I. The introduction gives students all of the background they need to begin reading and appreciating Vergil. It contains subsections, including the life of Vergil, the works of Vergil, the 1st century BCE and the Principate of Augustus, the Aeneid, speaking generally about the poem, Vergil's influence, a timeline, and a bibliography. The introduction is 22 pages long, including the extras such as the bibliography. The timeline covers the equivalent of 4 pages of the introduction. It splits events into 3 categories: historical and political events, monuments and building projects, and significant texts or literary events. The main body of the book contains on each page Latin text with vocabulary and notes below. The Latin text itself has in italics any words which appear on the high-frequency pullout, which is found at the back of the book. This should help students to recognize which words they ought to have memorized. The vocabulary is listed separately from the notes for ease of reference, and the notes themselves contain in small caps all rhetorical terms, helping direct students to the appendix in the back if they do not know the term. Finally, there are short summaries in English for each section. As you'll note on the right-hand side, the summary for 201 to lines 227. These summaries should give context to the students as they translate. The book contains 2 appendices. The first, as demonstrated by the image on the left, shows Vergil's meter, the dactylic hexameter, gives a demonstration of scansion, and defines several of the key terms. The second, as demonstrated by the image on the right, Appendix B, is the glossary of rhetorical terms to which small caps in the text refer. The Pullout Vocabulary, found inside the back cover, is designed to allow students to lay it flat while they read the rest of the text. In this way, students can look up the definitions of frequent words while reading. The words which can be found on this list are italicized within the text itself, giving students a visual clue when they can look at this pullout list. Any words not on this pullout list will be found on the page itself and also in the main glossary at the back of the book. The Teacher's Guide for Vergil's Aeneid, selected readings from books 1, 2, 4, and 6, contains an introduction for the teacher, literal translations of all the passages, questions for discussion and analysis, and a large print Latin text without the macrons to be used in projecting in the classroom. You can see here some samples of the questions provided in the Teacher's Guide. Note that the questions are divided into sections that match the gray box summaries in the student text. Therefore, for example, Section Book 1, lines 1 through 7, has its own English description gray box in the student text.